Love it.
Thank you. Um, we're jumping off a statement this week as a topic. The statement of "This is just who I am." You might have heard somebody say this to you before. You might have said this to other people. But it's not something we're trying to reinforce here in reflective meditation. In Buddhist teachings, identity is considered a fetter, something that binds us. Think of it like glue, like we're stuck to something. And it usually sticks us to something that's repetitive, in the sense of pain, hurt, suffering, but kind of when you get stuck and around again and again and again on something that is dukkha ish. So this identity, fetter, it points to a deeply held belief of this is who I am, regardless of the conditions of our lived experience. Even if we see something different in our experience, we'd still believe this is who I am. So an angle on it this morning, this is just one perspective, um, is that we're not asking you as meditators to become someone else. We're inviting you to stop believing that you're only this or only that, and that other people are only this or only that. So, this is just one angle. There's other ways to look at this fetter, but I'm going to take it up this way this morning. Um, and the Buddhist teachings do not go into the extreme of personality erasure. And I think this is really important. We don't require people to stop using words like me or mine. We don't expect you to erase your personality. We don't expect you to turn nouns into verbs so that you can show something more is happening. Though we do this to point out that that is the case often. We're not expecting you to become something else in that sense. Um, we lean more towards the falling away of mistaken ownership, not the falling away of expression. So we are interested in expression, of refining our ability to express our experience and express it more accurately. And we're really looking more to broaden in this area rather than narrow. And can we become more flexible in our identities, and give this gift to others? I feel like it's a gift when people understand that identity is more flexible than fixed. So, one example is when my father needed a care team. My sister and I stepped in, and she introduced a phrase, "You do you." And she would always say, "You do you." And I really wasn't sure what she meant. Like I was like, "Oh, that sounds like something you learned on Instagram or something that the kids say." But and I'd seen it used in a variety of ways. So we had to really fill it out together. And in a nutshell, what it came down to is, though this isn't easy to do, we took it up as be honest about what you can take on, let your limits be known, and learn from your limits. And I really liked that. I liked that as a motto in my care team because at some point I realized if you ask me to put furniture together using a diagram and a tiny instrument, specialized tool that will make it easier, it's like asking me to chew glass. So I shared this understanding with the team. Um, and, I'm no longer expected to be the person to do that. In a way, it's become an identity, but it's not the only thing about me. It's actually a helpful identity. And it saved a lot of dukkha between the care team. So, as long as we believe in this kind of solid, enduring self, what I've seen happen is craving, fear, comparison, defensiveness, all of those keep regenerating. But when that belief softens, there is more room for honesty, self honesty, more room for difference, more room for ease around our limits. So it's taken me a long time to form friendships in a sangha, this sangha, that understands this view, that values it. And I notice myself quietly kind of checking other communities and other relationships that I'm in, because I'm in other communities. I participate with a lot of other people in my life. And I was curious to see whether this way of translating a fixed view is around me, but just in different expressions, different ways that it's shown. Because I feel safer when people understand this view. I feel like people are more curious about other identities rather than so certain and single-minded. And I find that exploration is often valued. So these are the things I look for. And, I have found this, and I've talked about the parallel and 12-step communities. And it's interesting because in 12-step communities, they often fix their identity as a name or a name and a substance that a person is addicted to. And I've always questioned that. Oh, does that enhance one's identity? Does it take them in a direction that's they, me, in a direction that's not so beneficial? But in thinking about it recently, I really hear people talking about their experience of change. So this is what I'm interested in: is how does change happen? And in 12-step programs, they often talk about what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. So they're giving stories, experiential testament to how things can change and how things can reconfigure, and how fixed identities can really unbind. So, as I said, we've been learning this together in our daily sangha. We talk about this in a variety of ways. We do this here. We've done this in other communities. So my question about it here is, might our sense of being a meditator become fixed? Does that also harden in certain conditions? I am a meditator. And that who I think I should be as a meditator versus who I actually end up being, or who I'm supposed to be. And that there's some gaps sometimes in the way I think a meditator should react to a situation and then the way I react. So I'm curious about that for you. Do you find that hardens into I am a meditator, or the way you should act in the world or be in the world? And has it been helpful or not? But that's not the only thing I'm curious about. I'm also curious about your experience. So in our practice, you can go wherever you want today in your meditation. You don't even have to stay on topic. And I am going to end the Dharma talk here and give you a chance to meditate, and meditate together, actually. Let me just change my view. Welcome to anyone that's newer to our community. If I sounded like I was speaking Greek or another language, or you couldn't follow, just know that you're welcome here, and that we all get a chance to meditate in our own way for half an hour. We turn off our cameras. You have time to be with yourself, your thoughts, your feelings. And then we'll have a chance to reflect upon how the meditation went and a chance to talk about it together. And I'll ring the bells for us. Oh, and I'm just going to turn off the recording.